Today we learn about the vector between 2 points. So given that we have 2 points, which is A and B, and let's say I have a Cartesian plane over here. So A would be at 2, 3, so it would be at 2, 3, so it's somewhere here. And B would be at -1 and 0, so it would be at somewhere here. So that's my B. So let's say I would like to draw a vector from A to B. So that would be this one. And as we have learned from the following chapter, that this is also called the position vector of B relative to A. So this is the position vector of B relative to A, and we will write it as AB with the arrow on top in short. So if we want to find the vector AB, how should we do it from the two coordinates? We know that in order to get from vector A to B, we have to go from vector A to O, your origin, and from O to B. And we also learned in the previous chapter that a coordinate of A is actually a vector. It can be changed to a vector OA, which is 2, 3. And B is actually OB, which is -1 and 0. So in order to go from A to B, it means that we have to go from A to O and O to B. So we will write it this way. And because OA is given but not AO, we learn also in our previous chapter in negative vector, in order to flip this around, we have to add a negative in front. So it's -OA plus OB. And after that, we sort of we can actually take this as an negative and copy down 2 and 3 because that's the vector OA plus OB, which is a -1 and 0. So we can simplify this to become -1 plus -2 plus -1, which is -3, and -3 plus 0, which is -3. So this means that our resultant vector is a -3, -3, and that means that this is actually going 3 units to the left because that's -3 here, and 3 units down to 3 because it's -3 here. So there's also a shortcut to do this. So if we have vector AB, so that's the same thing, it's just we're doing a shortcut. The shortcut is we have to consider the B first. So let's say I write B first, and then we need to take A away from the B. So how do we do that? Vector B is actually OB, so that's -1 and 0. So we just copy that down, and the minus is just copied as a minus because that's part of the formula. And our vector A is actually 2, 3. So I'll copy that down as well, 2, 3. So the green is this vector. The tick is because that's part of the formula. And this one is because that's the vector B. So how do we simplify this? We will simplify this into -1, -2 is a -3. 0 take 3 is also a -3. So this will also give us -3, -3. So either way you want to do it, it's fine because it's still correct. So what if we have a question like, let me just take another colored pen. So let's say what if we have a question like a triangular looking thing with M A, which has a coordinate, B has also a coordinate, and C has also a coordinate. Let's say we have a question like that where M is the midpoint of AB. So if we have a first question like find the coordinate of M, find the coordinate of M. So how do we find the midpoint between 2 points? It's really easy. So you don't have to think of a very complicated way. You just have to, midpoint is always the sum of these two, the sum of the 2x. So that's 3 and -1 divided by 2. It's always divided by 2. And also the sum of the y's, which is 6 and 2, also divided by 2. So we will get this as, when we simplify this, 3 take 1 is 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 plus 2 divided by 2 is 4. So we sort of get the midpoint of M is 1 and 4. So if we have to find the vector, so let's say I have question B, find the vector of CA. So how do we do that? So from what we have learned just now, you can either do it the long way, but I'm doing the shortcut right now. So CA is like, you have to take the letter at the back first. So that's taking A, take C. So how do we do that? You don't have to write this when you are solving, but this is just as a guideline only. A would be 3, 6. So the take is part of the formula, so I have to put the take down. And C is a -4 and 1. So you can see that there are 2 negatives here, but the first negative is part of the formula, and the second negative, it's because this is -4. And when we simplify this, we will get 7 and 5. So that's the vector of CA. And how about the vector CM? It's also easy. So the vector CM is actually M take C. So I'm not putting the guide here right now. I'm just doing it like a really, really short way. So M take C, M will be 1, 4. Take is part of the formula. And C is -4 and 1. So I will get 5 and 3. And can you see that it's a really fast way to do it? And what about vector CB? So vector CB, this is another one. A vector CB will be, okay, doing the shortcut again, we take B, which is -1 and 2, take the C, which is -4 and 1, and what we get here is -1 plus 4 is 3, and this is 1. So we can get the vector of 3, 1.